Assalamu alaikum. In this demo, I will be discussing the deployment of a lambda function using container images. Now, in order to do that, I first tried out using the EC2, because before that I was trying out to do so by using Docker in my local PC, because I was having some dependency issues, but no, I was not able to do so. Then I moved towards EC2. However, in EC2, one of the problems that I was facing was that whenever I create a ECR instance, sorry, whenever I create a registry, and for example, and we have a look at the push command, and whenever I needed to log into this ECR, I was getting an error that the device type is not supported because this is a this is not a TTY type of a device. So here, in the end, I used Docker image. Okay, so Docker for my workstation. All right. So what happened? The tutorial that I followed is this from Lambda's own documentation, AWS's own documentation. Here they have given us the Python function, and they've asked us to make create a directory named app, which would be my project directory, and this code would go over there. Then we would have a text. We would create a Docker file. This would be the Docker file, and then we have to create a requirements folder. I think this is yep. Sorry, this is one that I followed. So we made a new function, made a new Python file called app.py, and then we have this over there, and this is my Docker file. I'll just show you this in a bit. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is my container, and this is my app. Welcome. Acha, so this is my app, which has the simple function. This is a simple lambda function where it was simply returning hello from AWS Lambda using Python, but etc. And this is my Docker file where I am. Okay, so I do not have any requirements. This is empty, even though this is a part. This is was required to do so from the documentation. Because they ask us to file a requirements add a requirements file, and then leave it empty if there are no dependencies. And I just commented out whenever it's called. I just commented out the run. Sorry, I commented this out where it was asking me to install the relevant dependencies. All right. So I build this image on just over here. I can show that in my previous commands. Yes. I built this image over here, and then I uploaded it to ECR. And let me show you ECR. All right. So first, I tried it with a public repo, but however, when I was deploying it and at Lambda, I was not able to call this public repo. I guess due to security issues, but I'll show you this in a moment. Okay, so I deployed this using my SAR Docker private. I used this. I created this repo, got the push commands, and here we need to first of all log in to our ECR. And then my image was already built, so I skipped this step. Then I need to add a tag to my image, and then simply I need to upload this image. Now I'll show you this. Here I built my image. And then over here I added the tag for my image, and then I simply, I hadn't logged in before, so I logged in, and then I simply pushed my image to my ECR repository. Now you can have a look at my repo. This has been populated. Now let's go to Lambdas. All right, let's create a new function, and I'll use a container image. I'll call it sad here I'll browse the images. You can see this private one is available. However, I have also made a public one. You can see this one, saw docker and saw docker lambda. You can see this is populated, but I was not able to call this one. Even if I get this URI, it does not recognize that, because see, it does not work over here. It calls it invalid. Perhaps this is the issue due to it being public, and public is of course vulnerable. Now I can only use the private repositories. You can see that this one is available, and I will call my latest latest image. So I successfully called this image south container. This sounds right, and then I would simply deploy this function. This is taking. This will most likely take a moment or two. All right, so this is done. Now we won't be able to view the code. We can simply test our code. We can go to test, because this is our image that has been called. And let me get let me call this t1 and simply save this as it is. All right, now let me test this out. See, the event execution result succeeded, and we can see that the function has been successfully executed. Hello from alias lambda. We can see that this was the actual output that was required. Yeah. Hello from alias lambda using Python, and this would be the system version, which would be 3.8 as defined before. All right.